Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody's doing good. Today, we're not going to sit around just answering questions all day. We're going to actually play the game. Funny story right there. The idea of actually playing. So, I am uploading right now. It's got 30 minutes left. So, I don't know if we want to deal with dropped frames for the first X amount of time or what. I don't know. Jesus, chat is going though today. Hey everybody. Hope you're all having a nice Sunday. What were you all saying? We're talking about the Tyria taxi cab campaign. Yeah, I freaking I love sharing that and getting people to talk about that more. It's in some ways it feels like a really dicky kind of thing to do. Because it's like, ha, look at the bad marketing. It's so like holier than thou and just gross, but people really get a kick out of it, man. What do you want from me? It's funny. Yeah, why are we talking about it now though? Good to see you, Cossage. I do like how the Norn draw inspiration for Finnish Scandinavian. It's such a mythology. Yeah, I remember those early days of getting to know them in Eye of the North and feeling really excited by that. Cotton Clo, I was so tired I fell asleep during yesterday's stream, but now I'm rested. I got myself a pizza. I am ready, Story Hype. It's good to see you. Well, to hear that, man. What else we got? He changed it back to it right after last stream ended. No, yesterday's stream was originally when I went live called A Starter Guide Us Full Story Laura Playthrough Part 3. Then, after about an hour and a half or whatever it was, I changed it to AMA, I guess, and it's been that until now when I've just swapped it back. I didn't change anything immediately after yesterday's stream. I changed it in the middle of the stream. You hope they'll give us a Norn bard who can play a harp or lyre to send his enemies deep into a swamp like Vianamoinen does in Finnish Kalevala. Yeah, I'll tell you what, and kind of a singing, bardy kind of Norn does work really well. It's funny, because this franchise has done that with so many different things. You know, the Paragons of Ilona, the Kurziks of Ekavald, the Norns, and there's lots of, like, singy kind of guys. Anyway, you're getting an ad for American Gods. I don't know what that is. I apologize. Do you know what really frustrates me on Twitch? When you go to someone's stream and you want to say hi, and you want to, you want them to know that you're there, kind of thing. And so you come in and you immediately type hi, and then when you get, oh my god, why are you on so much? And then when you click play to hear their response, it's just playing ads for like 30 seconds, and it takes so long to actually get onto the stream. You miss if they've even noticed your comment. WP, your dedicated fans have been here for almost an hour. Really? That's awesome. You know, you can use... Cheeky little plug for Discord there. You can use Discord to chat to other Woodwaters. It doesn't have to be here in Twitch. What was that one terrible live action Guild Wars 2 ad? That is the launch trailer, where it was kind of like vaguely pretentiously talking about how they were breaking the mold of other MMOs. It's such a shame, man. You look at some of the marketing that's happened for this game and how much bigger and more exciting things could be for them. I keep finding myself thinking about stuff like that. I keep thinking about how big the PvP population would be if it released in this state in 2012 with proper queuing and stuff. I get so hung up on that stuff. Anyway. Nostalgic cringe brings us all together. The taxi cab. You love the SAB one. You're thinking of this. The SAB one's cool. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was definitely a good thing. WP, any input on the bananas on pizza debate? I've never tried that. It sounds gross. But, and the reason I say it's gross is because I've never experienced in my life a meal that combines cheese and banana. There's lots of things that actually combine cheese and pineapples. So that's like another classic one that people think, oh, that's gross, but it's actually not. You know, there's lots of things that combine cheese and pineapple. You know, like those little party skewers you get, where you get like a mini little block of cheese with some pineapple on there, maybe some gammon joint as well. And yeah, so like there's lots of meals that do that. And like, think about like anchovy, like fish on pizza. You can do like a fisherman's pie or something that's got like grated cheese on mash mixed with the fish and the seafood or whatever. So, you know, that can be a thing as well. But I've never heard of banana and cheese, ever. So just based on and any dish. So based on that, I'm gonna assume that the answer is it's gross as all hell. Just think about any. Oh no, not any fruit. Definitely not any fruit. By my thinking, that would mean that like apple would be good on pizza. I guess I don't know. What do you think would be the most interesting thing for a new elite specialization? Stay tuned, Riolu, on my channel, as I'm about to have a video go up all about that. I've still got to edit it, but yeah. Banana cake is awesome. Banana cake's nice, but you don't have cheese in banana cake, do you? I've never had cheese banana wraps. Oh, you put a kappa there. Yeah, that sounds crazy. Banana cake is nice. Oh, I see the comment there. Who was that? Rain Pumpkin. Rain Pumpkin proving once again to Twitch chat he has no taste. Because, yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to swing up the intro here. And we're going to get in on the stream. So, yeah, I will see you all very soon. Do you want to watch the Break the Mold trailer as well? We can do that. Hold on. Shouldn't be too hard to throw up. Let's just see. I do have them all saved. Because I'm a good little boy. So let's see. That is very careful about... so what would this... This would be a vanilla trailer. Guild Wars 2 launch trailer. This should be it. We might drop some frames, but hey, whatever. See you guys soon.
For too long, a shadow has gripped the land, and we have stood by, paralyzed by fear and doubt. Those who dream of a better world, the time has come to open our eyes, to rise up and join together. To reclaim what is ours. And declare with one voice, our time is now.
Our time is now. It's so weird looking back at. Why was that the tag of Guild Wars 2? You see how wholly they've abandoned that. It does get cool at the end. I mean, here's the three main criticisms of the trailer, all right? One, the entire opening. Well, let me just as a baseline, just so that everyone appreciates and understands this. I remember so clearly that trailer coming out, right? How there had been some signs that I can't remember where through, but little things had been leaking and dropping and hinting. I think that ArenaNet themselves had like posted a few screenshots of that woman, and we all knew that the launch trailer was coming up, so we were all proper hyped about the game, as you can anticipate, and we realized that they were doing something live action, and that was just like mind-blowingly cool. Now, I don't know how many Halo fans we've got out here, right? But like, I was coming at it from the perspective of, like, how Bungie had handled some things in the past, right? And in particular, does anyone remember, I think it was promotional material for Reach, or maybe it was Halo 3. But they did like, and they're no stranger to it. They've done it for several of the games now, even after 343 took over. But when they did, like, live action stuff, it was like a real world, like, interpretation of events of the games. So I remember when I was at college watching these stupid videos, these mini movies that were associated with the launch of one of the later Bungie Halo games, where you got to see, like, Phantoms IRL, and you got to see Hunters, and you got to see Marines sniping people down, and Warthogs that had been constructed in the real world, and it was like hype as all hell. It was crazy exciting. So we had, you know, a desperate desire to see anything new about the MMO. Of course, there was all that magic there, and excitement and intrigue and mystery. No one knew what kind of RPG it would be, you know. It's that raw enthusiasm. We'd seen loads of trailers and things, you know, the skill clips and all that stuff. But then, of course, there was the launch trailer, and you got to understand as well, the devs had done the manifesto, which was a huge success with external audiences. They'd done the original trailer a couple of years before, where the concept art turned to Divinity's Reach. They'd done the Races trailer, which if you're watching my current Let's Play, you will have seen several snippets of as I roll through. These are all really high quality, solid fucking trailers, and we all knew that the launch one was the big deal. And then there was the sign that it was live action. So, like, every second of that trailer, you're, like, desperate for it to provide you with this cool quality, only to finally watch it and realize that the vast majority of the trailer has nothing to do with Guild Wars 2. And so that was the first criticism. It was just so irrelevant. Who cares about these guys coming out of, like, molded plaster or whatever? And all of the live action idea or whatever that they paid for was squandered utterly, entirely. So who was that? Who was going to get any satisfaction out of that? Who? The fans of the game that wanted footage and experience of the game or something associated with the game? No, they're not going to be, because we got nothing, just a random generic fucking cityscape. If Guild Wars 2 ended up having some twist thing in the end where we went to Earth, then fine, maybe it was associated. But it wasn't. So that's criticism one. It was just all this, like, it just felt like every second was literally shitting money away and just burning it, and it just felt horrible. And then, when it finally does become Guild Wars 2 oriented, cool, it looks kind of cool, but there's criticisms of that either. The fact it spoils the Elder Dragon's appearance, like, and the whole point was, like, the mystery of that and the intrigue of that, and there's something wrong on one level about that. That's not a criticism I'm super behind, but I definitely get people who felt that way. In the end, the Elder Dragon fight was so shoddy, I guess the devs realized, you know, it would be better to show it in the trailer. So few people could slog through the crap that was the personal story that they wouldn't see the animations of the boss anyway, so may as well put it in the launch trailer, maybe is the idea. But then, the third and final criticism, so most of it's irrelevant. It spoils, like, a big thing of the game. The last thing is it's a trailer for the game that depicts content that is not in the game. Now, that wasn't apparent until a bit later, but there is something really wrong about that, I still believe. That is showing an instance of ore that does not exist, a set piece and a fight against the dragon and ore that does not. It's deceptive. It's like representing the idea of the game and not the actual game. And that's the launch trailer. I can understand why in the original trailer it depicted areas of the Tarnished Coast near the Asura that never became a thing. We've data mined that before. There's actually like a little extra, a different version of Ratasum, a different version of the capital city, a different version of that area. And the trailer pans through that stuff in the original Inception, and that's not actually in the game. I can understand that when it's like an announcement trailer and it's ages earlier ago, but the launch trailer showing stuff that's not even definitively in the product, not even remotely in the product, not even is that exact instance not in the product, that concept is, I mean, the vague concept is there, but the idea of like coming up on a beach, D-Day style attacking is not represented in the game. It's like a completely different variation in the Straits of Devastation, and that people really won't get the gist. So anyway, it's just wrong on a lot of levels. It is a very, very, very poor trailer. It gets much worse during Living World Season 1, which I can't even show you guys as a joke because I think it will get me copyright flagged, and that will just be a pain in the ass. But one of the worst trailers ever was the Living World Towers of Nightmare one, where it's literally just heavy metal music in the background. That's it. It's just, it literally is like a fan trailer. It's really bad. That's as bad as it ever got. But the marketing has been really, really poor. Well, what in the past it had been. So it's very nice to see how much that leaf's been turned around and stuff. But there you go. So anyway, that's the main criticisms behind the launch trailer, and I'm an advocate for a lot of them. All right, I'm gonna intro the stream. I would read comments, but I'm not having this go the same way. So I will see you guys soon. We're gonna get in on the story. Let me just publicize some stuff and get some drink. See you guys soon. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sorry, that took a minute longer. I'm having so much fun making GIFs now to tweet. I think I'm honestly, I've become an expert Twitterer user. Seriously, anyone go to my Twitter right now and look at, you don't have to retweet or anything. This isn't some stupid attempt for something like that. But look at that tweet. Look at how pretty that tweet is, all right? Amazing. You've got players flying around there. You've got lightning going on. It's fantastic. All right. Okay. So, yeah. What's this Nightbot quote? I don't know how Flaganti's little thing works. Welcome back, WP. You have a new aunt in your chat. A new aunt? What do you mean, a new aunt in my chat? What does that mean? Yeah. AMA today? No, we're not doing it. The title did update, didn't it? I see the title's updated. I see it says part 3. At best, I'm refreshing just to be 100%. No, it definitely says part 3. Oh, we got quite a few people here. We only just started, really. Oh, by refreshing, I just got rid of all the comments. All right, if you left a comment during the intro, I wanted to go read it. But I can't now because I just accidentally refreshed. I'm really sorry about that, guys. Hold on, let me close this down. And let me close this. Okay, so the main question as we go in is EU or NA. And what I will do is throw it up to a vote. All right? It's Sunday, so none of this NA whining that it's impossible, blah, 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 because Sunday is the Lord's Day, and none of you should be working. If you are working today, you're not a proper Christian, okay? And we don't want you here. Which region? So, EU or NA, just vote, guys. It doesn't really matter because it's only a couple of you that will be hanging around anyway. But, yeah, you can let me know. I have no preference. Go ahead and vote on that. And yeah, so we're going to be playing a starter guide us and continuing along with the lore and whatnot today. The first thing that I really want to do is discuss the previous instance, which was huge and did about 1 million different stories back to back. Oh, it's dawn, right, as we start here. So let's just read the recap and see what we think as we were going through, right? So a starter guide us, and we're all the way down here. Legacy. Look at how much information is here on Legacy. So I arrived to Bram, Kos, and Kosan waiting for me at the abandoned Sunspear Sanctuary. Together, we worked to clear the sanctuary of its current inhabitants, a horde of spiders led by a terrifying brood mother. After defeating them, we Why? I touched WASD and now I'm getting attacked. What even did that? After relighting them, we relit Cormier's protection fire inside the Chamber of the Sun, which will help protect the chamber from Kralkatorric's attacks and give our reclaimed sanctuary a new name, the Sun's Refuge. So we can actually head on in, and I do want to show you guys what this is like. I may have to dedicate full-on streams to this, because there's so much dialogue and stuff, and I've not done any progression here yet because I don't want to miss out, basically, which is kind of a tricky thing. But there is honestly a ton of dialogue and like many things. To be clear, I've been in here and I have played in here, but I've only done it while someone else has been the instance owner. So what do we want to use? The Berserker Dagger and the Binding Rift Boss, probably. I've only done it, and what's going on with my traits? Why am I not running Zephyr's Boon? I like Zephyr's Boon a lot. Yeah, I've only done it while someone else has owned it. So I've seen the dialogue, but not the opening dialogue, but not triggered any of the collections and stuff. But if you see, there's just so much detail here. We were on the previous stream kind of marveling at this, you know, with all the little ambient critters that they dropped around. The various NPCs salute at you and emote and do different things. And so this here is the command post, right? Exactly as we knew it in Guild Wars 1. It's called the old command post. And while this isn't going to be... Like, look at the ravens, the crows perched up on the ledges. You find a griffin up on another one somewhere, if I remember rightly. But what I want to do is show you... And look at that up there. That looks so cool. Some of these other exits. So this is exactly where, like, Dunkoro and Zed and stuff were stood in the original game. I think they've made the buildings a lot bigger to preserve that sense of, like, this epic scale. And it works very well. But yeah, so, and then these were the exits, remember? So this here was the entrance to the map that took you to the monument to Palawa Joko. I think it was anyway. Maybe not. It should have been. I think they have dialogue talking about it, don't they? Maybe they do. Here, let's speak to Obi and see. After you cleared out the sun's refuge, Kos told us to take a look here for a way back into Jahai. Here we go. It took some digging, but we found it. Where does this go? North of the Argon garrison. Seems this place was used by sun spears hundreds of years ago, but it was blocked. Is it safe? It is now. Only one Dolyak was injured in the process. Poor Tano. He's recovering in the Dolyak pen. I'm glad Tano survived. And you can actually go to the pen and see it, right? But this is legit the way we walked in the original game. And when you hit this portal, you do actually travel through and come out at the exact same place we saw before. You go north a bit, and there's the monument to the defeat of Palawa Joko. And I mean, the pace of the movement to get over there and everything feels the same. I mean, it's wonderful, right? Even looking back, you see the hint of like the little bridge from before. Here you see Blish is actually hanging around following us, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, it's excellent that they did that. Now, what's even cooler, though, is that idea that Kos said, hey, there's an exit over here. Kos remembers that from Guild Wars 1, right? And he tells these people very clearly that that's where they can go. That's what they should do. I really want to look behind there a bit more definitively and see if that bridge is there. But then, what about the other exits? Well, the devs do hint and tease at them, such as this one here. This would have taken you to the Marga coast in the past, all right? So, I think anyway. No. This wouldn't be the Marga coast, would it? This would have been, oh, God, what's it called? What's this map here called? Where you go to the, where, like, there's the big garrison. It would have been this one here. Marga coast was here. What was this one? Maybe someone could say in chat. I can't remember. Anyway, if you check it out. Oh, yeah, Arkjok Ward. This guy tells us. Arkjok Ward, right? And this took you to Arkjok Ward, but it's closed. And he says, this hall allegedly contained passages leading all over corner. This one went to Arkjok, but it's caved in like most of the others. Joko really took a toll. What other options were there? Exactly. Can you imagine what it must have felt like to close these passages as Joko's conquest spread? Awful. Indeed. It's an interesting route that the devs went with here, suggesting that the Sun Spears continue to really care about this cave, that it wasn't just a shitty little place that we hold up in, but it was something much more, even after Nightfall had been dealt with. And you'll see kind of a reference to that from Kos himself later in the story. But yeah, so the devs are actually hinting here. The thing is, Arkjok, right? Wasn't that actually playable in this map? So it's a shame that this is still caved in, because I would have loved like some route through. And this kind of cripples the idea, maybe, that we'll get Marga Coast and stuff later. But over here, you've got the route up to the Sunward Marches. Why is everything highlighting really weird back there? But this is branded at the moment. And I assume that we'll be able to go through this. I'd love it anyway in an upcoming patch. And then also, if you go into the refuge, there's a load of other stuff as well. But there's just so much in terms of exits. There's so much to talk about and to do in here, though, guys. And I want to ding some of the collections. What you might find is we finish these story streams this weekend, and then next weekend we do these ones to do with the Sun's Refuge. And then after that, finally go back to episode 1. I guess it's all up to you. That's what the vote will be on, I suppose. But yeah, what a beautiful, beautiful thing. Anyway, so yes, we cleared it out from spiders. That's where we started. Okay. We regrouped with Taimi, Zaim, and the others to discuss the anomalies we saw, but we were interrupted by a shocking appearance. The ghosts of Erstegalkin and Snaf. And they came with a message for Aurene from Glint herself. The time has come for Aurene to defeat Kralkatorrik and replace it as an Elder Dragon. It's, that idea the time has come is really kind of sad, to be honest, because it's obviously rushed, right? Aurene is still so small compared to what Vlast was, and even Vlast wasn't ready. And I know it's possibly wrong for me to, you know, suggest the only considerations relevant right now are the size of the dragons. But, I mean, come on. She's still so young. She's a baby. She's not ready. And that's what we say as the commander. Backed into a corner, Aurene revealed a vision to us, showing multiple scenarios of our attempts to defeat Kralkatorrik. The battles were horrific in every outcome. Aurene dies. Terrified, Aurene fled. Now, we know that she's scared, apparently, here, right? And I think our psychic connection to the beast, possibly, is what makes us so sure of this. Terrified, Aurene fled, leaving us reeling without her. Just then, Blish piped up with a sudden idea to enter the mists and attack a tracker to Kralkatorrik, using it to evacuate villagers before he appears. Blish has tasked me with step 1, to track down Balthazar's sword and use it as bait. It's rumoured to be somewhere in Vabi. So that's where we are. And what a huge patch that was before. Every single one of these streams I've been tempted, since seeing the cutscene, I've been tempted to like do a cutscene analysis with you guys, but maybe I can do that on the main channel. Anyway, so there you go. Our job is to get Balthazar's greatsword. Now, I will be... I'm just going to take you on an adventure here of my stupidity. Are you ready? And while I do it, we'll walk to Vabi. I guess that'll be fun, right, guys? Since we can do that, and I like to take advantage of these things. So here's my stupidity. When I was doing this and I read Balthazar's sword, I, for some reason, thought we were looking for Sahothin. And for a long time during this patch, I was thinking it was about Sahothin. And you might think, well, that's ridiculous, WP. What are you talking about? Ritlock's got Sahothin. Oh, which is obvious, right? And he has. And I should have recognized that he still had Sahothin last patch, and that he had Sahothin the patch before, and he had Sahothin the patch before that as well. Something really weird is going on with the shadows here, aren't they? I should have recognized that and known that and not been confused. But I thought we were looking for Sahothin for some reason. And if you remember, when the dialogue starts with Blish's plan, he says we should use Balthazar's sword. And then he said, and then the commander says, that might be a problem, blah, 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 blah. So it was at that moment that I kind of got, I thought, oh, right, okay, so hold on, it's a problem. I guess Sahothin got blown up in the Balthazar fight, and I just forgot about that fact. And I didn't even, like, question myself. As soon as that is what went through my mind, that was it, I was done. I was like, oh, yeah, it got blown up in the Balthazar fight, of course it did. And I just kind of left it, which is just really, really dumb of me. But so, yeah, I was thinking, oh, so, you know, we were fighting with Sahothin. That's why in the last phase you don't have it, even though we totally do. And so, yeah, and it took me a long time to realize. So as we go through today's stream, I just want to... We're going to play the game, obviously, and with full understanding that we're not looking for Sahothin. We're looking for Balthazar's greatsword, his own fiery GS, which didn't have too much story or exposition thrown on it in POF, but it did a little, I think, right? Maybe through some of the burning scrolls or something, it was talked about a bit. Obviously, you saw him with it floating near him in the trailers, remember? So yeah, that is what blew up. When we killed Balthazar, his greatsword exploded, or in the explosion, and it was lost there. So so that's what we're kind of looking for. And in truth, it's actually super cool that the devs are giving us a little bit more story about that greatsword and that iconic part of him. I think any good character, any good villain has, like, MacGuffins, right? As, who was it that coined that? What was it, Hitchcock? I'm probably wrong. Anyway, you know, this idea that you have these items that are associated with characters, and those items somehow make the character feel a lot more fleshed out than they otherwise would be. You know, something that character really cares about. And we don't have to understand the item at all. It doesn't need to be explained in any way, but it's, you know, associated. I think in Pulp Fiction, that briefcase associated with Marcellus Wallace is kind of a similar thing. Anyway, the idea of him having this big item that we should talk about a little bit more is cool. So we're looking for the greatsword. The reason we want it is because it's magic, and we can attack, and we can lure Kralkatorrik in with it because it's super powerful. So what does that mean? Well, returning to where we defeated Balthazar, and we get to come back up to Vabi, as you can see here. This is gorgeous. Look at that place. My God. Why don't I remember Vabi ever looking like this? Look at the clouds over there. So, yeah, we just want something really powerful, magic, and that's the closest one we've got. All right, okay. Let me actually look at chat here as well. That's not... So, what's your explanation of what a MacGuffin is, Doug? Let's see. I'm going to Google it as well. It's just a plot device in the form of some goal, desired object, or another motivator that the protagonist pursues, often with little or no narrative explanation. I think I was pretty close there, because... But yeah, it's not quite correct, right? The briefcase is definitely right. I was 100% about the briefcase. It wasn't necessarily a protagonist's motivation, but a motivation that's unexplained. The sealed branded entrance is to the Sunward Marches. The Marga Coast one was in the sanctuary itself, the southwest of it. Yeah, that's the one, yeah. Sunward Marches is funny because we actually get a good chunk of in this map. Like, this is actually technically Sunward Marches, if I remember rightly. No. This is Chirai's Procession, right? So Sunward Marches would be over here. Marga Coast would be over here. Is there no Sunward Marches? I guess not, because if the Ventus Cemetery was here... Sunward actually went all the way to the coast as well. So that was Sunward. Marga... Arkjock... Something like that. And then Dejarin Estate. Barbarous Shore is all the way over here, and we didn't get any of. And then, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there's overlays and things. What was this? Drakeniel? Just subbed. 3 months in a row. Congrats on your badge, man. I've been following you for years on YouTube, but only 3 months on Twitch. You're the best content creator. Keep it up, man. Thank you, dude. That's really lovely of you. It's good to see you too, Flag, for 9 months till 2 years. Yeah. And then you get your gold. Thank you, dude. That's very, very cool. Yeah, that Shaman's Historical Guide is a very, very good thing for you guys to look at there. Very good indeed. Right, so we want to get to the Sky Gardens, so let's move on up this way. The one thing, though, is I think the MacGuffin gets a lot of flack as a bad trope, but I think it's a solid trope when used well. Absolutely. I mean, there's no such thing as a bad trope. If it's a trope for a reason, right? It's a well-used tool that people have executed to great effect over the years. I think it's one of those. It's one thing to identify stuff that's being overdone. It's another thing to cripple the utilization of worthwhile techniques just because you're constantly scared of being like cliche or overlooked just because of that. I actually think it's a big problem with a lot of amateur writers as well to get too bagged down with that. I'm in a prison area that I don't think I've ever been before. Why do I not recognize this place? Is this associated with the Sun Spear event? Crap, we fell. Right, well, let's just try and avoid all of this altogether and just get on our skimmer. We're going to have to take out these branded, though. No, man. Come on. Wait, what? Oh, no, it's Unravel. I thought that was Twist of Fate. Why have I got Unravel on? I don't need to have Unravel on. Maybe Unravel on a dagger build is good, though. I've got to figure this stuff out. Hey, we actually did some damage there. That's more than I remember Sword doing. Well, we're on dagger anyway. Please do not accidentally hit that before I can get on the skimmer. Thank you.
Joko can keep his gold. We're here for documents, ones that describe the region's true history. With that evidence, the Order of Shadows can begin to subvert Joko's regime.
Yeah, no worries. You can have fun with that, but I need to move on. I've got to get north over these walls. We'll go around this way. It should be fine. I was so excited about using Unravel yesterday. Yeah, I mean, wait, when? When did I talk about Unravel yesterday? I've tried it in PvP and not had a very good experience. I was excited about it on the patch notes, but again, I've not really found the right way to land Unravel. In a good way. It's lagging a lot for you. It's not lagging on my end anymore, at all. It's just completely solid. So you might want to just turn your settings down if your download is really, really bad. Turn it off of source. I really hate what's going on with my graphics here. I don't know why it's doing this. I'm going to restart the client in a second because this is going to infuriate me. I was hoping map swapping would fix it, but and I thought it could have in the Sunspear Sanctuary, but I guess it's just because we don't get to look very far away. It's just weird, that whole outlining thing. So yeah, we got to go to the Sky Gardens here. I guess this is the actual main entrance to the Sky Gardens, which is strange because I don't think I've ever actually entered it from this approach. Look, there's even Jin safety here. Thank you, Mr. Jin. All right, okay, I'm going to restart my client because I don't want the footage today to look awful. So let's just redo that. And I guess at this point, I will swap region based on the straw poll. One more opportunity to vote here, guys, on the poll. I'll give you 5 minutes as I reload here. Not 5 minutes, like 2 minutes. So click that, vote, and we'll see. A terrible weaver skill that says how you stop being a weaver for a cluelessly short time. It's not the short time. It's the, I don't know, if the double attuning that it gave you still double procced the stuff, I could see maybe some value. So like you double water splash around you instantly by going into water, or you double airstrike, or you double sunspot, or double earth and blast. That might be something maybe, but it doesn't even do that. So it just feels crap. Do you have an update on which emotes you are planning on adding? Oh yeah, have we got a mod? If we get the other emote slot, I will definitely look back at it. I'm a bit burned out of looking at emotes consistently though. Oh, we had a sub. Thank you very much, Madman. It's good to see you. 18 months. That's badass, dude. Thank you. If we have a mod in chat, I will do a giveaway. We'll try and get some more subs and we'll get that next tier. But if we miss it, probably this weekend is our last chance to do it because then all the subs we got on the raid stream are going to start dropping off, aren't they? What kind of chair do I use? Just regular chair mostly at the moment. I'm slowly working my way through CMs on the new raid, though, so I'll probably turn it to the pile of gold after a while. It looks all right. Okay, let's see how the straw poll's going. The results are... EU wins. By almost double there. So, yeah, EU absolutely slaughtered NA this time. So, let's see what world I'm on. I know you guys can't see. All right, I'm swapping to EU now then. So, it'll be a few more minutes before we get into the gameplay. How many do we need? Yeah, let's see. Let's see. We need a few, though. If I'd done a lot of giveaways since we could have been there, but I haven't. And we haven't had that many mods around, so... Let me see. Emotes. We need 38 more points to get our next slot. We are really close. We are really close. Honestly, you should see this progress bar. It's like right near the end. But with the only way we're getting people are, I'm not going to get that through generosity. Not when I stream as little as I do. So the only way to do it would be with 400 gems code giveaways. Or you know, suddenly just getting a lot. But yeah, so with no mods. Oh, Farinir is there. Farinir, do you know how to do it? Is Flag there as well? What's this? A MacGuffin is an object chased by characters in a plot that has literally no meaning or significance other than the fact it's chased by the characters. It's like diamonds in a crime filler. The briefcase in Pulp Fiction is a weird case in which we don't know the greater plot. What just happened there? Hold on. Some people say it has his soul, but there's nothing in the movie that hints or implies it. There is stuff that implies it. It's a fucking glowing, bright, heavenly light that comes out of it. Yes, there is stuff that implies it. Not that I subscribe to that, but that's pretty ignorant to say. Yeah, okay, what the hell is it? But yeah, you're right. Okay, I understand that idea a lot better now. Anyway, look at what the hell is this? WP asked for my definition and won't read what I wrote. I did read. I scrolled up, man. Come on. It's like you're new to these streams. I wish you could edit Twitch comments. What on earth is this? Naroji, was it you that did this the other day as well? Naroji, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Genuinely. What the hell is this? It's not updated yet. Oh, it has updated. You literally just got us a new emote. I think that perma unlocks now as well, you know. Dude. I cannot believe it. Let me just read this out. Naroji is gifting 38 subs to the community. They've gifted a total of 48. You did 10 in a row before, didn't you? Didn't you, Naroji? I'm sure you did. What on earth? I cannot believe that. I hope that you feel that was worthwhile. Okay, so listen. Naroji gave one to Kupo42, to Eternal Blue, to Lala Bees, to Dap Freelance, to Ludo Flame, to Leo. How did you pick these people? How did you do this? Are they just people active in chat that you was like, what? How do you even do that in bulk? How is that even possible? Ludo Flame, Leo Typhoon, Fluffy, Richter Rebirth, Darren Ull, Filmasis, Blue Darkper, Halky2, Felojo, Vulnerjarminian, Shadow Cat, Yawn, Kiryav, Kokano, PM3D, Roydy, Stray Sheep, Elegate, Powdered Swanas, JMD House 05, Danubials, Blood Cycle, Almighty L1, iBoy, Stintado, Dwoyaz, Dumats, Tailms, Zororius, Forktastic, Leicester World of Warcraft, Zeppo3K, Halmic, and Casimir Mead. That's bonkers, man. And the name MacGuffin was coined by the English screenwriter Angus MacPhail and popularized by Alfred Hitchcock. I knew there was a Hitchcock association. At least there's that. Sweet. I wasn't off on that. Dude, Naroji, I can't believe that. You gave that to a few recognizable names there as well. So I really hope they appreciate that. That's actually bonkers. So listen, if your name just got read out, you're a lucky bastard, to be honest, because someone else has just paid for you to have that perk, literally. Let's just be clear about this. You could have done it for free with Prime. They've just paid for you to have that. So what you've unlocked from that is Guild Wars 1 emotes. Maybe someone can put them in chat and demo them. They're pretty universally applicable, I think. But especially in the various Guild Wars streams and communities, especially if you go back to some of those Guild Wars 1 streams we quite often host. If you you get some pretty nice emotes that you can use there. Some of them like emulate regular Twitch ones. Some of them don't. There's a lot. And you've just got access to all. And you can use them in Discord too. Not just my Discord, the Spud Club Discords, but we use them there all the time. You can use them in anyone's Discord. So, yeah, that's kind of hype, man. I like all the people now commenting, hoping that they get a sub. What is this? Twitch has a new gift bomb style thing. What a champ. How do we thank Naroji, man? That's crazy. Yeah, look, Nike wants a sub. Mass sub gifts are random people in chat. Oh, are they? Dude, I'll tell you what, Amazon's really good at learning how to get money out of people. There's a new button for gifting. The subs are random. They added it to Twitch back in August. See, you guys give me my news about this website. Oh my god, someone did give it to Nike. Wow, Dark gave it to him. Dude, look, you're in that famous situation now. Like, that means you're famous. When you go to other people's chats and their community just instantly gives you a sub, famous, all right? That's how I get myself to sleep at night. There you go. And Nike is actually streaming Guild Wars 1 recently, so there you go. Yeah, oh my god, look, people are actually spamming them down there. There you go. Alright. So giveaway, what are we doing with all of this now? Okay, yeah, sure. So the idea is, Farinir, do a 400 gem giveaway. I've got 400 gems I can give away. But if someone is subbed, give them like 10 times the chance to win. Yeah, is that okay? All you guys have to do to participate in the giveaway, hopefully, will be to just use chat. But we'll let Farinir decide. He might do it as a keyword thing where you type in a keyword and you get the giveaway from that. Or he might do a thing where you you can just type in chat. We'll see how Farinir is, how comfortable they are with that. And yeah, Farinir, just whisper me with the name of the winner by the end of the stream, and then I can send them that message on Twitch at some point. Oh, there you go. Look. Nike's got some Guild Wars 1 emotes as well. 100 blades, I like it. And Valve silence. Is that because of the builds you've been playing, specifically? Dude, that's nice. I'll make sure I don't utilize those then, so that, you know, the collaboration, then they can sub to both of us. Listen, Nike, you got to get like a huge audience, man. And between us, we will represent all 1,000 Guild Wars 1 skills. It'll be great. Yeah, that's crazy. I love how WP reads out all 38 internet names without flinching, while I struggle to read out the names of the 25 students in my classes. Well, I know I would have got them wrong, but I just don't care. There's no way to fix that. So, yeah, if you guys want to do this giveaway, you can sub and you'll get a higher chance. So, you may not have got lucky from Naroji's generosity there, but you might just want to sub, you know, and join in with the good times. If you guys do it enough, we could even get another slot, and then we'll get another emote. How do you guys feel about that? We would need, for that, because we're quite close to it, but we have only just passed the threshold. For that, we would need 97. So, Naroji just went like 30. We'd need 97 for another slot, and then we'd permanently have that unlocked. And we can bring back coffee or something, you know? For the coffee lovers out there. That's not a promise. Who won your eternity? I don't remember the name of the people who won the stuff, to be honest with you. But they were very, very happy. You never got to see. Well, we did just do a super edit of that raid stream up on YouTube. You might want to check it out. Sorry that we're not playing the game, guys, and that this has happened, but this is pretty exciting and cool. For fuck's sake, my best friends want me to leave in 30 minutes to go on an impromptu road trip to a museum for fun and possibly recreational drug fun, which I can only do sparingly. So now I'm stuck with the choice to go on a random adventure or take part in my favorite form of media that I only get twice per week. Damn it. Oh, wait, you're not talking about this stream, are you? Oh, man, you should go to the museum. Trust me. You'll have more memories of life if you go to the museum than sitting around watching Twitch chat. Besides, you can just sneakily listen on your phone with an earbud in. There you go. Hey, Rav, it's good to see you. Convert your buddies to Tato fans. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's still going. The notifications. All right, there you go. I think they just stopped. There were 2 other people that subbed with the giveaway. Sir Squidic and Anjoys. It's great to see you both. So, yeah, thank you to the both of you. You're not running the giveaway. Does that mean I can enter it? Yeah, you would come in. Sure, why not? Oh, yeah, Twicky did win one of the great swords, didn't he? I don't know who won the other one. All right, anyway. Okay, that was all super cool, guys. Let's play some of the game now. Yeah, I cannot believe that. Noroji, you're a god, man. That's crazy. That's so mental. It's just bombed my notifications there. I wonder what that's been like in other communities as well. That's crazy. All right, there you go. There's just Squidic, and Anjoys is next, and then the notifications are complete. All right, okay. So let's continue along with our Dagger Weaver, the most meta in the game. And is there a way to actually just walk up from here? I guess we'll go this way. So this again was another cool moment of the story, right? Where
we just need to find Balthazar's sword to use as bait. Hopefully your priory friends can assist us.
Blish, why are you going to all this trouble to help the people here?
You mean, why would an Inquest Asura bother to do something for somebody else? To be honest, it was timing. I only ever cared about science for its own sake. But she wants to use it to help people. Seeing her again. I'm supposed to be dead. Science gave me a second chance. I will make it count.
you guys can hear it okay, right? People are saying can't hear dialogue. Is it just me? Really? You can't hear it? It's so loud, guys. All right, hold on. All right, I've turned it up a lot there, like a lot. I'm scared that I'm gonna watch the VOD now and my voice is gonna be drowning it out. Anyway, yeah, so the first thing I was saying was this is again like at the start of the patch where we see Joko at the Vitendi Academy stuff. And now we go to Joko's Sky Gardens. It's like such a beautiful thing to make you think about his death while returning you to such prominent locations of his life, you know, and his strength. And this was one of the earliest places that depicted his strength and his ruling from early on. So I really like that. But then also the other cool thing is the Blish thing. So we talked about this a little bit before. At this point in the story, Blish will follow us around on this map anywhere we go. He won't participate in combat, so I don't think you can actually break anything. It'd be interesting if you could take him up to the Zomoros pressure pads and have him stand on one or something. But yeah, he's actually following us around. Now, what also happens at this point, you just saw from that other player nearby, other people will view him as a prairie dog. So that they're not spoiled as to the fact that he comes around here. But, you know, by doing this and having us speak to him, not only now is the player character speaking in the open world, we're actually having a conversation. This feels like we're in an instance, but we're not, you know. And it's really, really nice.
Scouts should be arriving now. With any luck, the sword will be resting safely in our collection by sundown.
So, here we get to see exactly where it all ended. We saw Kralkatorrik in the sky right there. Nice opportunity to return here. Yeah, next expansion, I'd love to see how much they can utilize this, you know. It'd be really, really cool. Because I can only imagine that there's about 1 billion opportunities for it. So, yeah, under protection of this Jinn here, we get a researcher, a Sylvari. Now, you'll notice that the Sylvari accents are kind of all over the place in this patch. Have you guys spotted this recently? Like, listen to this Sylvari. Sylvari are like knockoff British voices. That's what they are. They've always been.
Commander, what brings you to our neck of the desert?
Balthazar's sword. We need it in the fight against Kralkatorrik.
And time is of the essence.
Is that a fully sentient golem?
And a certain scientist in a golem's body, actually. And we're in a hurry.
By the pale tree, how does that work? Tell me everything.
We really are short on time.
Oh, sorry. Well, if it's the sword you're after, you're in luck. Just finished mapping its trajectory. Take a look. From the blast pattern, Balthazar was standing here. And of course, he was right-handed, altering the sword's angle. And the crystal formations indicate Kralkatorrik's storm came from this direction. So if we apply a simple velocity time graph, theoretically the sword should have landed somewhere around here. We've already dispatched a few scouts to sweep the area.
And you're sure this is correct?
Math never lies.
Indeed, it does not.
All I ask is this. When you're finished with the sword, donate it to the Priory for study.
That may not... You know what? Sure. We'll do our best.
You sneaky inquest bastard. Yeah, so, a few things. The accent, yeah, I don't know. They're not doing the British thing anymore, I guess. I mean, she's just like generic American sounding character, like most now. And that happens with a lot of Sylvaria. I'm not sure why or whether that's even a big deal. It's just an observation, really. But then they use the map as well. Think about how many different scenes in this game have used, like, all the characters huddled over a map and talking about strategy and stuff, but we don't really get to see it. Well, you know, maybe doing this is a good idea. They kind of do it quite well on this for kind of a joke, you know, kind of a bit of a silly idea. But I kind of like the idea that they might do this a bit more. What the devs really need is some way, you know how we, the players, can draw? What they need is to be able to draw as a dev as well and have that on there. So it's not just the camera moving. We should actually see a trajectory. You know, it doesn't have to be a white line exactly like ours. It could be slightly recolored, slightly thicker, and actually have arrows and stuff. That would be pretty hype. Why can't we see sent mails? I don't know, Jericho. It's good to see you, by the way. I don't know why you can't see that. I don't know why the devs have never really cared about it. There's a lot about mail system that could be a little bit better, to be honest, but I would consider it not low enough hanging fruit to be relevant, if that makes sense. I don't think that that's the most important stuff that they should be working on with the game. I have to wonder... Oh, God, sorry about all the yawning, guys. I have to wonder, now that tonics are in, I wonder what the next, like, system update will be. Build templates, finally, if they haven't been working on it in the interim. I have to wonder that. Ipos with the combat tonics is crazy. What does a Codan look like with the combat tonic? With Ipos. Oh, I never bound the Codan. Where is that then? Which of my characters has got that on? Shit, I don't know. I'd love to see that with Ipos though. It's kind of funny. All right, okay. So anyway, yeah, there you go. Let's go retrieve the sword. We'll start at the Venter Pass, I guess. Burst out laughing, build templates, good joke, tell another. Come on, man. They've never said no to build templates, so they're obviously trying with it. That's what I think, anyway. So what, is the giveaway over? Are we still doing it? If so, if you just got to the stream, guys, if you use chat, I think it is, or maybe a keyword, you can get into win 400 gems. If you're subbed, you get 10 times the chance to win. And subbing is totally free. It just takes a couple of seconds. You click a button near the video player and you're done. So, yeah, you can totally do that. We're trying to build it up, I guess. We'll keep going with it. Let's see. Honestly, I'm well up for continuing to try. Shall we get another emote? I'm more motivated by unlocking emotes than I am about money. That's literally how I feel about Twitch. I just find it interesting getting more emotes. So stupid. This is a hell of an event, and I'm really not interested in it. God, this heal is not great. I really wish we were still on our mount. So here you'll notice Blish is still following us. And indeed, he'd be following other players as well at this point. I kind of like the idea of just stalling your character on this step forever, just so you've always got Blish running around with you. It means that if you're going to do one of those ridiculous minion builds where you get all the minions up and you get the sous chef up and you get the feline familiar up and you get all... what was that other one? There's a costume brawl one that I found recently that I forgot about. Anyway, you get them all. What you actually should do it is on this map.
How could this happen?
Sorry, they just spoke over me there. Yeah, and you actually get Blish as well. So she just said it was in our hands. How could this happen? So we hear about some upset Priory nearby, who I've actually just walked past. So let's go back. I was going to the garrison a little bit too early. We're gonna have to break combat to get on the Springer here. So let's try this. Like, the Steam thing just feels so crappy in PvE. Maybe it really is a dagger main hand build I want to try for PvP. I wonder if there is one that's actually possible. A dagger main hand unravel build. Can you guys imagine? What would that get you access to, though? Shocking aura? Which you can now transmute, so there is some worth of that. What else would it get you? More mobility on Earth? Double Earth? Which is also updated recently, so that might be kind of cool. Maybe there is maybe Unravel Dagger main hand PvP build. Repost. Did you know they removed the internal timer on Tonic so you can spam them back and forth finally? No, I didn't know that. There is a timer, right? Like if I'm spamming F1 super hard right now. I'm vibrating my finger on the button in a way that, you know, is very lovely. And it's you know, there's still what, a second between each one?
The sword. You have to go after it.
What happened here?
I don't even know. 1 minute we were pulling Balthazar's sword from the sand, exactly where Nerith said it would be. Next, everything went black. Woke up with a bloody shoulder and no sword.
It was that sniper.
Sniper?
Came out of nowhere and picked us off before we knew what was happening. He was like a ghost, a shadow.
Did you see where he went?
He headed southeast from here, to the garrison.
Southeast. Got it.
Nothing is ever easy, is it?
I really like the dialogue here on replay. Minor spoilers that will be revealed in like 2 seconds. The Deadeye's a chick, right? So I really like that, knowing that the Deadeye was a chick. The devs had this scene with the Asura and whatnot, assuming it was a guy, and their default impression is it's a dude, and then it turns out like that feels really natural to me that they would do this, and then these guys are just wrong and it was a woman the whole time. I don't know. I just like that for some reason. Like I could easily imagine them being like referring to her as a she already because it's intolerant to believe it must be a man immediately or something like that, or trying to play it safe and saying they in the middle. But I think the natural course would have been something like this. I don't know. And then it's, oh shit, you know, we had no idea what we were dealing with. Anyway, she's a fucking badass. It's really cool. This character is awesome. So yeah, there's a sniper, and the patch kind of suggests that the Priory's being killed and whatnot here, and that we should really hate this person. And one of the questions on the AMA was touching on that. If you guys check out that video, I sort of discussed that a bit. But the dev in charge of this side of stuff wasn't really trying to suggest the Deadeye did lots of really dangerous stuff. Just incapacitated those following us. But also I like how the Priory, even while we're doing all the stuff, the Priory had their eyes set on the Greatsword too. Any of those powerful artifacts they're ready for and they're looking for immediately. Alright, so from the ashes, let's do it. WP, please consume some water. I was drinking water earlier. I'm good.
Hold on, Commander.
Alright, so we get the Vigil Marksman. Oh, yeah, hold on. People want to play with me. Hold on. Yeah, we did vote. Here, if EU, I am on EU. It was over 50 of you voted. You guys can join this party. Does anybody want to play with me? I'll wait a second for you guys to get here. I am on EU. My ping is as low as 20 right now. That's very low. Okay, alright, but go slowly, guys, because otherwise it's going to break. At this point in the story, you thought it was Kaith. Hey, that's cool. You're thinking one step deeper than me. That is a cool thought, and it could have been Kaith quite comfortably, actually, there. I totally get what you're saying with that. That's kind of cool. Alright, they're on the Jahai Bluffs, just the wrong version, so we'll wait for them to join my instance. I can't imagine my one's empty. This just feels so unrewarding. Ashen Blast, blinds. I guess the fact it blinds isn't too terrible. Grinding Stones. Catabatic Wind. Release a frigid wind that damages foes. It's a blast. Oh, so that's just like the water, but with a bit of lightning on it. Does it do more damage? I'm just waiting for the... I'm looking at skills while waiting for these guys to come in. So 844 base. And it chills and regens. Oh, and it's a daze. I see. So as a daze, maybe there's some air. Maybe there is some air synergy. You know, maybe there's some lightning rod synergy here on the dagger main hand. Because you'd get lightning rod off of this. You'd get lightning rod off of this and the pop on it, and then you'd get lightning rod off of Gale. You could get lightning rod off of Mudslide. You could get lightning rod off of the water, the mist thing. So that's a lot of lightning rod right there. Steam Surge, that's it. I think, isn't that a CC? No, that's a heal. Never mind. You don't get off of that, but you get lightning rod off the comet as well. I know that there have been some, but they've been sword builds in the past. Maybe there's something you could do. What's going on? Ratchy and Cool Boy joke? The map is full, apparently. All right, fine. Sorry. I guess it's full because the Shatterer. You thought it was going to be Keto. That's a cool idea as well. Does the music sound like it's out of tune, or is it just me? All right, here we go. Get moving, WP, full map, time to join. Why are you doing high horse? Dash is much better for that, Dead Zealot. Dash is much better.
Hold on, Commander.
All right, okay. So, it's dark here. I think they deliberately have it set so it's always night at this point.
I know you can handle yourself, but I wouldn't go in there if I were you. Deadeye's got the whole place on lockdown.
By himself? Just who is this guy?
He's a she, and she's kicking our tails. Flooded the area with poison gas, perched herself in a perfect spot. Some sort of priestess, I think. Doesn't seem like she's up for a friendly chat.
In that case, I'll provide moral support. From out here. Stay out of sight.
Alright, so defeat the priestess. I don't remember exactly how I did this before. I can't remember if the mounts just kicks you off.
If you're here to claim his sword, turn around. You have no right to it. Leave now and live.
Voice amplification. You'll have to get close if you want to talk to her.
Wait. I know that face. You're the hero of Amun.
Oh, good. Maybe we can use this to
The one who killed my god!
Uh-oh.
How proud you must be, killer of gods, slayer of dragons, trumpeting your heroism, no thought for the cost. All those lives left discarded in your wake, collateral damage. 6 short days were given to mourn the fallen. 6 days. Then we reforge their weapons and return to the fight.
I'm not quite sure when she'll stop speaking, but it's awesome, isn't it? I love the voice effects. I love the stuff she's saying. I love that we're once again being forced to second guess whether killing Balthazar was a good idea or not. I love that they really show the followers. The Zaishin were so one-dimensional before. It's so uninteresting. I don't know whether they really confirmed that she is Zaishin, but if she is, that'll make me even happier, right? She's a priestess of Balthazar, not necessarily Zaishin, right? But I think it's just so cool what they do here, and that we're forced to look back. I mean, this is exactly. I mean,
his sword was here. I knew my destiny. I will finish his work. I will kill the dragon.
So the 6 days to mourn the fallen. What that bit kind of eludes me a little bit. What do you think she's actually talking about specifically there? Yeah, I was just... Twist of Fate is much nicer than this. I don't know. If this was a stun break too, it would be awesome. I'd love Unravel if it was a stun break. But then it would be too much to be able to stack up.
I didn't expect whatever gods are still listening to deliver his murderer into my hands. You can hide from my bullets. Can you hide from my blade?
Alright, so we go up. Here she is.
You looked familiar. Do I know you?
You know nothing about me, or my priesthood, the family you destroyed.
So I was panicking when I played this first, because I was like, wait, what? How is she familiar?
You think you can take whatever you want, because everyone calls you a hero.
Stop! Just let me...
So if you remember, with Kosan, they'd brought an open world NPC back, and very accurately, and just, you know, assumed that we Can I involve this?
After you killed him, people were celebrating, and I was afraid. Too afraid to open my lips to say that I remember him differently.
I love that line. Yeah.
You don't understand what Balthazar's priesthood was. What they gave me. They taught me that the things that had been done to me, the choices I'd had to make, those things hadn't broken me.
yeah, because they brought Cosson back in that way, I thought maybe, crap, is she a random NPC from, like, the camp of the Zaitian way back when that was trying to recruit us or something? Am I supposed to recognize her from there? But
They
that's not what's going on.
They had forged me. My scars weren't records of failure. They were badges of survival, of resilience. Balthazar's people didn't offer me miracles, only meaning.
So these pulses isn't her, it's the poison. But yeah, so she says they'd forged, it's even in all caps when it's printed down here. And I'm wondering, you know, obviously, she never became one of the Forge, right? But we get to do another phase?
I've seen you before. I think we might want the same thing.
Really? Because what I want is justice for the god you murdered. Justice for my people.
Okay.
I won't fall so easily. Not to you.
Right, and so then we,
After you, the forge was cold. The practice yards empty. The temples silent. My brothers and sisters gone. I wandered the heights and called their names. The echoes came back unanswered. I am completely alone.
I love the thought of her as being
snuffed
like
him out.
last.
People have already forgotten everything he was, everything we were.
Sorry, it's kind of a tricky instance to do commentary while playing, because I've got to shut up every few seconds because of her, and it's actually kind of intense with the pressure on some of these environmental effects. Obviously the mechanic here being you dodge while she's aiming at you, and then you line of sight her. Which is kind of cool actually for Guild Wars, and I think they haven't done enough.
Now the world will remember us only by the worst thing our god ever did. Do you understand? You've made their sacrifice meaningless.
God, she so well delivers the lines, right? I mean, she sounds pissed and hurt and sad, and it's great.
I won't give you the sword. I won't give up the only part of him I have left.
Oh, it's fantastic. So anyway, now we get the final battle phase, which is a real disappointment compared to the rest. Obviously, with us in a team like this, it's going to look a bit bad, but yeah.
No, I can't.
Oh, no, that's not the last phase, right? She goes into the middle and you can...
So, this is it. I'm not a fool, Commander. I know you didn't cause Balthazar's fall from grace. You just moved things along. I spent so long aching for revenge. Now I'm just tired. My fight is over. I'm ready to join my family. Do it!
Was that it? What? Do I have to press F? Listen to the music, though. This is some Interstellar. This is Hans Zimmer right here, if I've ever heard it. I mean, now it's becoming a bit more Guild Wars. So, yeah, okay. We can press F to show mercy. Do we want to show mercy, guys? Or lop off her head? Well, the answer is we show mercy only because she appeared in that vision. Only.
It is you. From the vision. Your fight isn't over. Not yet.
What are you talking about?
I prayed to Balthazar too. I know how it feels to have your faith crumble inside you. I can't bring your god back, but I can offer you a chance to finish what he started. I'm working on a way to kill Kralkatorrik without disrupting his magic. Help me finish it, please.
Anyone else would simply kill me and take the sword.
Anyone else, you would have killed. And I've seen a better way.
We reforge the weapons of the dead to pass their strength on to others. So, you may have his sword. My help, on the other hand, we'll see.
Will you tell me who you are?
I'm Zafira. And you are not what I expected.
Yeah, so we get the Balthazar-specific dialogue. That is because of the biography choice way back here at the start of the game. If you chose Balthazar, I can't remember what the alternate line is or if there even is one. But that line, let me reread it out again. I prayed to Balthazar too. I know how it feels to have your faith crumble inside you. The next line does kind of break down a little bit because he says, I can't bring your god back. It would have been super nice to have that be, I can't bring our god back. That would have been, like, awesome. But it still kind of works, even without that like, slight tweak there. And obviously, I feel a bit bad asking for more, when it's cool that they did some diligence here anyway, and you get that nice little bonus, that little tangent there. I prayed to Balthazar too. I know how it feels to have your faith crumble. So, yeah, her name is Zafira. And she's going to be a pretty blatantly a fan favorite, I think. Because she's just, like, really ferocious. She's cool because you don't really know where her allegiance truly lies. I mean, oh, you beat me up and now we're friends. That doesn't exactly work, right? And the game's very good at making that clear, that it's not just all happy-go-lucky, everybody's satisfied stuff now. Anyway, so here's the sword. It's not flaming or anything. And let me just say as well. So when I first played this, okay, I was still thinking she'd, like, grabbed Sahothin. That Sahothin had gone flying off, and we were now collecting that, and I was thinking the whole time, like, oh, how would Ritlock feel about this? Blah, blah, blah. I think there'll be a line in a second where I'm like, oh, crap, Ritlock won't be very happy with us giving it to the Priory. Ritlock won't be very... It's something here, so I'll pick it up. Oh, and now we check in with Blish back over the entrance, I guess. Does she have dialogue? She has got the icon.
I gave you the sword. Now go. Do what you must.
It's because I'm human and I worship Balthazar, Mjolnir. It's only because I'm a human that worships Balthazar. There is no such thing as an Asura that worships Balthazar, or Savari Char Norn. It's only a subsection of humans that get that. That's what makes it so special and cool. And it's not the first time Pathify's done that either. So we don't actually exit the instance yet. We move on.
Thank the alchemy. I was worried you wouldn't make it out in one piece. And you have the sword.
I do, but it seems, well, lifeless.
Dormant. I feared as much. To attract Pralkatork's attention, it will need reactivated, so to speak.
And how do we activate it?
Magic. Powerful magic. Luckily, we're surrounded on all sides by a potent brandstorm. If you carry the sword inside...
No. Next idea.
Hear me out. All you need to do is expose yourself to the brand lightning for 7, 8 seconds maximum.
Blish.
As you wish. I do have a backup plan. It involves your large revenant friend.
Ritlock. You mean we can use Sahothin?
Precisely. I'll have time to contact him. Meet me at Sun's Refuge and we'll get this sword working. And just so you know, if that fails, we're definitely using the lightning.
And so, well, there you go. They obviously do a little bit of funny stuff there with Blish. I don't need to ramble about it. So Jules says, I've got to go soon. What do you think of reigniting it with Sahothin? I'm not going to go on some massive long rant about that before we see it in the story. But yeah, I think it's cool. It's nice. It's coming full circle. Dark also says, your character Azuric worships Balthazar, who was the villain of the game Azuric. Is that intentional? It is, actually, yeah. I knew I wanted a human character that was going to worship Balthazar, because I knew that that might be an interesting way of going through POF, just as playing a Silvarian Heart of Thorns was interesting. So I knew I wanted to do that, and I knew I wanted it to be a Weaver, which was very Azuric-y, and when I combined the two, I just thought, oh, I'll go for that name. I think so, anyway. Right, so yeah, there you go. Back to the Sun's Refuge. Fun fact, the devs talked about doing the lightning way at first. They even have dialogue. Oh, what, really? They actually implemented the lightning variant? It'd be interesting to see like a mini branch in the story where you can choose to do it like that, or you can choose it to do like that, and it just changes ever so slightly, but not in any major way. That's essentially what they were doing with the personal story, though, and caused a quality loss everywhere in the game, so I understand why they wouldn't do that. So let's go through with... Oh, hold on. All right, now this should be fine. So we'll go through with storm tracking here. And we're going to do we're going to do the sort of the start of this. And then we're going to hold off. By the way, what's really cool here as well is we're actually wandering around with a greatsword on our back. See that? It's actually changed our back item.
Does this mean you're helping us?
It means I'm keeping an eye on you. And the sword.
Sorry, we missed some of her dialogue there. Yeah, she comes in. I thought the sword was all I had left of him, but now, one day you'll meet her. I think she'll like you. Yeah, what was this? I don't know what this is talking about. I remember this when the patch came out. Well, what am I being stupid with here? Because I obviously am. Help me out, chat. So she appears here, and she says, you need better security. And we say, apparently. Does that mean you're helping? And she says, it means I'm keeping an eye on you and the sword. You guys think it's Aurene? I thought the sword was all I had left of him, but now, one day you'll meet her. I think she'll like you. She's talking about Aurene. This should be triggering after Aurene. Should it? Is it slightly out of sync? It does seem a bit weird, doesn't it? I mean, I kind of get the idea that... I mean, Aurene absorbed some of Balthazar's power from the Bloodstone, so if she has Aurene, she still kind of has Balthazar a bit in there. But, yeah, I don't know. Okay, the dialogue upcoming about Ritlock's fur isn't cringy to me. It's just a little bit disappointing, that's all. It's not a cringy dialogue. It's just, oh, come on. Is it really in character for Ritlock to be like that? I mean, he's a jokey guy, though. But he's also a very macho guy. And I just don't see him actually caring about how soft his fur is. Well, we'll see in a second. Look, you're making me jump ahead here, guys. Anyway, so we go back into the Sun's refuge. The Sun's Spear Sanctuary. There's a griffin up there, as you can see. So, if you guys don't get it, the thing with the griffins is the griffins became a symbol of the Sun Spears and very much ingrained with the Sun Spears and the eyes of the Sun Spears and whatnot. And so, if you did the Griffin quest chain recently, you'll remember that there's all that influence there with the Talcora's stuff way back in Vabi. And that's why you get so much Griffin activity here now, which is kind of a Guild Wars 2 thing rather than a Guild Wars 1 thing, but a really nice touch for the devs to have done. And you'll find them all over the place. Hello, Sunspears. So, as far as the story's concerned, this is the first time you have to come back to the Sun's Refuge. You don't have to do it earlier than this, as I showed off before, but I'm still happy to. Oh, it's beautiful. I love the audio in here as well. So the glowing magic is not Jinn protection, it's God protection. It's divine fire. So hello, everyone.
Oh, good. You're here. Now then, let's bring this sword back to life. Oh, hello.
You can reignite it? How is that possible?
Commander, who's your new friend?
This is Zafira. She was a priestess of Balthazar.
And I am not your friend.
Nice to meet you, too.
I really relate to Braham here.
Can wait. We need to get this sword lit. Ritlock, do the honors.
Can do. Stand back.
Alright, so we've got the sword, obviously. So, yeah, Ritlock just kind of pops up here. He has no other relevance in the patch. He's treated like a tertiary character here, really. It's kind of funny how brazenly the devs do that. There must have been a moment where they thought, we've got Ritlock in the patch, but we do very little with him. Is this still cool? And they realized, yeah, it is, because it's just natural for him to be here. So, yeah, we get a special action by coming forward. Relight Balthazar's sword. We equip his sword and brandish it at Sahothin to transfer a portion of Balthazar's magic. They've been very creative with skill tooltips and stuff now as well. So here we go. Boom, baby. I love the animations.
Yes, it worked.
Whoa, hey! Where's it going?
It seeks Balthazar. It senses his magic. I don't understand. Balthazar was never here.
But Aurene was.
The sword perceives him through her? Just who is this dragon of yours?
Someone who needs our help. Now, to enter the mist and attach this tracker to Kralkatorrik.
Won't be easy. Can't just kick in a door like a Joko's palace.
Actually, we can. If the Branded have been exiting through the rifts, it stands to reason we can use them to enter.
What, get dumped into some random who knows where?
It's the best shot we have. And once we're inside, Glint will protect us as much as she can, at least.
I assure you, Blish and I have executed plans far more dangerous than this.
Ritlock, I need you to enter the mists and gather as much information as possible. Find out how to reverse the damage.
On it.
Enough talk. Let's get going.
No, Gorik. This time, you're staying behind.
What? Brother! If you think I'm going to sit around while you get first-hand experience with an Elder Dragon...
My golem body will keep me safe. But if anything happened to you, I'd never forgive myself. Gorik, this is going to be hard enough as it is. I won't be able to focus if I'm worried about you. You know I'm right.
Fine. But when you get back, I want a full report. With diagrams.
It's a deal.
Commander, before you go, can we...
No heart-to-heart yet. I've got too much...
happening. I might not get another chance.
Yeah. Alright, good. We can wait. Oh. The thing that... Listen, ArenaNet, you need to just have slightly more occasions where I'm asked to press F to continue the conversation. Just a few more, please. It will make regular players feel like they're a little bit more involved with the game, and it will allow people like me to talk more. Please, it's the most selfish thing I've ever requested of the game. Okay, right, so now we speak to Zafira, and it makes sense. By the way, the sword didn't bug, if people were saying that. I don't know, or are you just talking about a play on words? It's because it got culled away, because there's a lot of NPCs here, and I have culling really low. That's what it was. That was all. But yeah, I love the sword. It's actually, like... got a mind of its own. It's like a character of its own almost in its sentience as it moves around. And yeah, it's a really nice touch. That it's quite a convoluted, like messy little thing, I think, that the story is doing. That Balthazar's magic is an Aurene, and then, you know, like how all that really ties together. It's a bit convoluted, so it's really nice when the game finds other ways of demonstrating that interaction and what happened there, and that they're comfortable just talking about it and doing it. So the sword comes over here because it's sensing Balthazar through Aurene. It makes sense, and it's cool, you know, that they're not hiding from the more convoluted aspects of the story they're telling right now. And now apparently it makes sense. I thought the sword was all I had left of him, but now one day you'll meet her. I think she'll like you, Aurene, definitely. We see all of Aurene's toys, by the way, which can I just say, people compliment me when I get stuff right all the time, and they really shouldn't, because, you know, you throw enough darts at the wall, one of them will stick. However, I have to say, when I saw the announcement of the Sun's Refuge, I fucking predicted this. I talked about this exactly in my video. I said, hey, remember the toys that we give Aurene and that little instance back in A Crack in the Ice? Remember all of that? Well, I wonder whether we'll get to do something like that at the Sun's Refuge. And I was like, they're here. Literally the same toys are here. I don't know whether this is actually tied to your achievement progress, though. Like, if you haven't done the Crack in the Ice achievement, do these not appear like this? Or if you've only got some of the toys, do only some of them appear? That would be crazy. You can't play with her, which was the other thing I was saying, but that blew my mind. That I was like, wow, I actually 100% called that crap. So anyway, that was really cool to see as well for me here. So before the heart-to-heart, let's speak to Ritlock. Because remember, at Path of Fire, there were opportunities to speak to Ritlock first or second. You must always speak to Ritlock first. And he says, so, you think my fur is soft? This is funny and fine. Him being disgruntled about it, right? Him being the blank slate, that's fine. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. You weren't supposed to hear that. He says, that's not... Listen, I just wanted to say, you know, thanks for noticing. Come on. I know that you guys are like, oh, but I loved it, WP. It was really funny. Yeah, it would be funny from all kinds of characters, but this is out of character, man. Isn't it? I know he's joking. That's out of character, and that's why it's not funny, because it doesn't respect the character. It doesn't respect the law. Oh, it's true, you know. Whatever you're doing, it's working. So anyway, like, come on. You don't need to turn all of your serious characters. You don't need to resort to degrading your serious characters for humor. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. It's okay because it wasn't voice acted, so it's fine. It means that they don't care as much about that line of dialogue because they didn't put any budget into it. All right, okay. So who else can we speak to before Bram? Kosan says, you'll be fine. It's only the safety of a loner riding on this mission. Reassuring. Kos, you see any branded in there? Kick him in the teeth. I want to see Kos without his armor on, right? And I'm not because I think he'll be sexy or anything, but because I want to know how deteriorated his body is. Like, because you look at a lot of the other Awakened, and they're really gross. But you'll notice that they were very careful about Kos's design, and that he doesn't actually look that gross. And that works very well with him as an ally. But it can be easy to forget that side of him. I'd like to see him take his armor off, and you just realize, like, he's just some maggoty, infested, you know, rotting corpse under there, and everyone's like, ugh. Okay? That would be funny. That's how to take a serious character funny, alright? That's how you do it, okay? You leave my Ritlock alone. You keep him cool. Ritlock, you're not supposed to care about your hair. You're Blood Legion, damn it. Don't make me slap you. Okay, alright, so Bram. I guess, what do we say? Well, let me just ask you, chat, before I start this, because this is really the conclusion of a story here. How are you feeling about Bram walking into this? I mean, I think that the devs have pulled out all the stops, really, to try and close that gap that was between the characters. You have to remember, okay, that that Bram wasn't even in the story in Path of Fire. Okay, let's just remember this, alright? Bram was in Heart of Thorns and was fine about the death, and then all of a sudden decided to not be okay about the death in Crack in the Ice, in Bitterfrost Frontier. That was the only time we saw him in Season 3. Crack in the Ice. I think that was the only time, right? And he drove this massive wedge between us, or the writers did. They fabricated this mess, which is very implausible, and, you know, we'll put all those criticisms aside. They draw the wedge, and the devs want us to be mad at him. They don't find plausible reasons for it, but they do it, right? They make it about his mother. And you got to remember, after that Crack in the Ice thing, we hear about Bram, and we hear about him rejecting our mail and stuff, but he's not in any of the rest of the season. He wasn't in any of it. And then when Path of Fire came out, 4 acts of Path of Fire, he wasn't in any of it. Bram's reintroduction to the story was in episode 1. Yeah? And so they've had these episodes to build that gap, and people really like, the devs were very good at making us loathe him. So at this point, though, you know, he's met his mum, he's, like, saved us on a few occasions, he's been chill. We almost had that moment where we talked, when we were lost in the mist together, and then we came back and we didn't. You know, we've aired a lot of the awkwardness. They've made him look vulnerable with his fear to the spiders. You know, they've done a lot. They really have done a lot. So, this is the conclusion here. And what I will say as well going into this conversation is... the main thing I don't like is I think the devs have been too hand-wavy about his attack on Jormak. Let's be clear. They established that he rallied a ton of fucking Norn. He didn't do it alone. He just got another group of people. He rallied a ton of Norn, and he took them to the far Shiver Peaks to fight an Elder Dragon. Like, they were visually there fighting Jormak. And the devs have not given any explanation or deeper understanding of that, or referenced that very well. And I think that, to be honest, that attempt and that success and those companions that he made and formed and all that off-screen story should factor in here a little bit. But they just kind of pretend that none of it is of any relevance because it happened off-screen. But, you know, I think that, in a way, Bram... If in this conversation Bram acknowledges that he was always in the wrong, blah, 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 in a way that's like betraying the trust he engendered from those other Norn and the risk he threw at those other Norn. And I think that's a rich story there that they don't touch on. That he marched those Norn potentially to their death, potentially strengthened Jormag's army with that. That's like huge. That's the big ticket item there. He doesn't have to be tied at my hip all the time. But the problem was that side of things, and the devs have skirted around all of it, I think, and that's in a hand-wavy way. That would be my takeaway of the whole situation. But I can feel that emotionally and whatnot, that people are ready to sort of be okay with it. And they've also been very careful about not having this really cheesy, which I think has been very well executed from them as well. What the hell? I just had a donation there of £20. Sierra, you're too generous. You're way too generous. I don't know what to say, man. That's lovely. Thank you so much. Wow. And Dusty as well subbed 6 minutes ago. It's good to see you, Dusty. I might be trying ATs soon, by the way. I don't know. Because I want more tickets for llama progression. I've got to get those llamas, right? There's only 2 players in all of Guild Wars 2 that have the max tier silver llama. Okay, there's only 2 players that have that. I want to be player number 3, baby. So I don't know, maybe that could be a thing, Dossie. Thank you very much. So yeah, thanks so much. 20 quid? That's crazy. Thank you. I really appreciate that, dude. I don't know. Don't take that as a definite, Dossie. I have no legitimate plans, but it's on my mind. All right, okay. Valen, are you genuinely one of the people with the silver llama? That wouldn't surprise me. I remember watching your stream ages ago where you were picking them up as well. I don't play at ATs enough, so I only have... it's the monthlies you've got to do, right? I only have... Oh, wait, no. They're not currency, are they? They're an item. No, PvP League tickets, these. I've got 670, and don't you need, like, thousands? Because you've got to participate in the monthly to some extent. And I've just not done that. So, yeah. Anyway. Right, okay. So, Bram, here we go.
You okay, Bram?
I just wanted to say... Well... I've been an idiot. I know it. Sometimes I just... don't use my head. But no matter what I put you through, you never gave up on me. And I didn't... I was so... I mean, you should have just knocked some sense into me. Spirits know I deserved it.
Grief can make us... not ourselves. It's okay.
It's not okay. It's no way to treat... family. That's what we are, you and me. Family. It took me long enough, but I finally got that through my thick head. From now on, wherever you lead, I'm right behind you.
Not behind me, Bram. At my side. To the end.
To the end.
Excellent. Now let's get this tracker business dealt with, shall we? Not that I was eavesdropping. Golem oral sensors. Sorry.
Alright, and Blish is pretty cool there as well. So yeah, and Bram says, good luck out there, don't kick too much tail without me, okay? Wouldn't dream of it. So, you know, I kind of have some pretty picky little things, like, I don't know, I just think that this shouldn't have... This is a very waffly, like, oh, I'm sorry I let you down, Commander! Ah! And then you sort of, you wonder, wait, how did he let us down? We need to talk about the specifics of how he let us down. For me to really feel fully resolved with Bram, I want him to say, we shouldn't be throwing lives away needlessly at the Elder Dragon. I want to hear, like, what damage did he cause? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I, the commander, was wrong. Maybe his attempt to take out the dragon wasn't even a big deal. But the thing is, I just think that it's too far from the minds of the player base and even the writers because it wasn't talked about enough, in which case, my question is how that went wrong at any point. But anyway, so that's just what sort of occupies my mind more than anything else. The other thing I kind of wonder is, why is it so important that we have Bram on side? I don't know. Listen, there's just a thing about me. I'm not saying I'm in a totally neutral standpoint here. The thing about me is I don't get or appreciate or care very much the whole, oh, we're family. Family's so important. Family. You're my family to the end. Family. Like, friendship isn't enough for some reason, and just companionship to meet the ends of a goal isn't enough. It's got to be this deep mystical bond we're for some reason building together because family is the most important thing in the world. None of that kind of stuff resonates with me on any level. I know some people, like, their hearts ache and they think, oh, it's so lovely and sweet. For me, I just don't really care. I like the family angle because he's of Wolf, and that was established that, you know, Wolf-born Norn tend to really value stuff like that. But even the commander seems to have this, like, deep need for Bram to be at his side. To the very end, we must have Bram, but why? Why? He's an idiotic adolescent Norn. If he wants to be a dickhead and leave, let him be a dickhead and leave. I mean, it just so happens that he's still been useful and we've kind of built that bridge, but why is it important to us? That's another question on my mind, I guess, to an extent. And that's not me saying this is bad writing or I hate the game or any of that stuff. It's just me saying why I don't... I can see why it was well-handed, but I'm lukewarm at the end of the tunnel, right? I'm tepid about the whole thing. That's kind of how I feel. But it was well done. And again, I do want to be very clear that I think that... I respect Guild Wars for trying to do a story where we have a big fallout with one of our companions and then you build that bridge again. I think that was something important for this game to do too, because otherwise it would feel way too artificial that everyone just comes together. I mean, that's what we've always been crying about, really. If you go back to Season 1, Season 2, people felt that the game had no depth or interest, and none of the characters were really characters because we were never at conflict with one another. They would just follow us like little lemmings and lapdogs all the time. And asking for the conflict between our group has been something I've always asked for and wanted to see, and that's what we got here with the Brand thing. And I'd like to see more. You know, they've introduced a new character here, Zafira, and like we're on shaky ground with her, and you know, people are starting to act real and realistically. It's just the plausibility and for the breakup and the necessity for the reunification. I think on those two parts, I'm a bit like, it feels a bit manufactured. But you know, whatever. I don't know why. I'm just being very picky, right? Anyway. So yeah. Also, it was funny having Blish say that. You see any Brandon in there? Kick him with the teeth. He'll be fine. Zaim speaking to Farron. I wonder if this is a hint, guys. What could these two be speaking about, huh? Oh, who knows? Oh, the hints. Okay, and so then we have the final part of the patch. To find a portal to the mists. Which obviously we can't just do here at the Sanctuary. I was pretty confident we were going to go to the Tomb of the Primeval Kings here. I thought that would be really cool. But, I mean, we used the tomb entrance a few times. Just any excuse to zigzag back to a prime map, basically, is what I was thinking.
I thought Marshal Thackeray would be here.
You think that Blish had more character development and was more interesting than all of Destiny's Edge 2? Do you really think that? I mean, Blish has been very likable. I don't know whether he's really had that much. And he's a very unique character. But does that translate into character development? What do we even mean by character development? Do we mean how the character changes?
That rift should allow us to enter the mists.
But of course, we don't need to go to the Tomb of the Primeval Kings.
Well, here goes nothing. Any last words?
Let's not jinx it.
We can just go into any disturbance we like. And so they pick this one here. Blish stops following us around at this point. And now we begin the final instance. Storm tracking. And wow, what a wild instance this is.
What is this?
Great machines! It's a full-on war between Glint's army and the Branded.
It's a distraction. Glint is buying us time.
Then let's use it to our advantage. We'll have to set the bait further inside, away from the fighting.
I think I see a shelter up ahead.
And so that's our job next, to find a safe location to set the tracks and blah, blah, blah. But that's going to be on the next one, guys. I'm afraid we'll do that tomorrow. There's no rush. That'll be tomorrow's stream, the conclusion, the grand finale, the end of A Star to Guide Us. That'll be tomorrow. And we sort of clean things out. And I don't think that's too premature of me, is it? No, not too premature at all. So yeah, that'll be what we've got coming up. Yeah, I know, but look, you get cool Q&A or whatever now, don't you? Yeah? Tried to look behind you a few times during the chase. Get a good view of... Dang it. If you can't be here tomorrow, don't worry, because there'll be VODs and there will be Wood and Potatoes too. I blue-balled you all, did I? I blue-balled you all. Well, look, don't forget, there's quite a lot to get through. There really is. There's that whole instance, and then there's the post-instance stuff. Still a lot more characters and things to meet, people to work out with and sort things out. So, is Glint's army made up of primeval folks just because they already exist and to save time? Just seems weird she'd have command over them. Yeah, that's an interesting sort of question to pose. Would Glint actually control the primeval characters? I don't see why not. It would be nice, obviously, to have a ton of Forgotten there. If the Forgotten were defending, it would be amazing. Or Forgotten Spirits, that's the ultimate thing that the writers could have done. Because they collaborated with Glint for many, many, many years in the Crystal Desert. They were, realistically, her right-hand men. The residual spirits from the Brotherhood of the Dragon, dwarfs there as well, would be really awesome. But particularly with the Forgotten as well, we knew that they existed within the Mists. Not just dead Forgotten, not just spirit Forgotten, but real Forgotten. Like in the Realm of Torment, they were the jail keepers, realistically, right? It was Forgotten collaborators we dealt with when purging the Domain of Anguish and traveling through the Gate of Fear and all that kind of stuff. There were other things too, and spirits, of course, but Forgotten are no strangers to the Mists. Much like humans, they may have initially come from the Mists before with Tyria. You know, they had great collaboration with the gods too, also Mistwalkers, Planeswalkers in their own right. So, mostly that big Glint connection, right? It was the Forgotten giving us the trials in the Crystal Desert before we found Glint's lair. It was all Forgotten stuff. So having them would have been, so cool. But I think the thing is the devs don't have any living forgotten character models. They only have branded ones. And also, I think suddenly, if we were actually seeing Spirit Forgotten, maybe that's a thing and they could have gone through with that. But Living Forgotten, I think that should be a big moment. That's one of the ancient races, guys. That should be as big a deal as meeting a Massat. Or a bigger deal as meeting a Seer or a dwarf. And obviously we have met some dwarves, but very rarely. And they're treated really well and special when that happens, you know. The revelation of Ogden gets that beautiful cutscene for the Dermot Priory, and Norn characters learn about him a bit more. After that, he's a bit slapped in, to be honest, but Season 2, they did better with him. And then Season 3, we get the other dwarf. So anyway, I think that mystery of what happened to the Forgotten, where they are, and all that kind of stuff needs real spotlight, not just randomly slipped in like that during all the chaos of another instance where they want you to focus on that instead. Funnily enough, someone mentioned there is a new enemy there, though, isn't there? Oh, it's the new centaurs. Apparently, you can actually fight the centaurs in that last instance, which I didn't realize. I'm keen to try it. Apparently, though, they're invulnerable, so you still get to see their animations and the stuff they do, but you can't fight back because they're invulnerable. But you kind of got to walk far away out into the area. Someone asked this earlier, but do revs have control over mist walking, like entering and exiting the mist wherever they like, or do they just have access to it sometimes? I think it's a really terrible idea for the devs to establish that they can access the mist anywhere, so I think the answer is actually just that they commune with it and channel the spirits, but they don't actually go there. You know, I think that would be a very strange idea to establish that people can just go in and out very cleanly and comfortably. Also, that dwarf is in the Desert Highlands ruins being carried around by a Priory member. Is he? What, the Season 3 dwarf? I can't remember his name. Is he in the Desert Highlands? How would you feel if Jormag was as small as Zaitan, asked Darg? I'd feel fine. Zaitan to me is not a small elder dragon. I'm sorry, but I know people like to talk about that a lot now, like because of comparative sizes and stuff, but it's such an arbitrary, like, insignificant, like, dim thing to care about to me. Like, Zaitan could have been half the size he was, the battle exactly the same, and I would have liked it exactly as little as I did. Or he could have been quarter the size he was, except I actually get an interesting encounter with him, and I love him. You know, like, it's the size of the dragon. Who cares, right? And there's other things as well, like camera tricks, right? Like, Zaitan, people seem to have the impression of as being small now, but the devs were very careful with the Zaitan. For all their failures with the Zaitan instance, they were very careful to not let you get close to him. So it's always a little bit abstract as how far away he is. How far exactly is that tower when we're fighting him? Because you don't really get a point of reference. Now, in truth, you can actually really carefully slow down and analyze the footage right as he's passing over the ship and he breaks bits of the glory of Tyrion. You can say, see, he is really small. But that's not the impression that the average player would have when doing this difficult to access mission, you know, and you're supposed to be filled with adrenaline and excitement and other stuff. And the devs were careful about the way that they designed that. A similar thing could happen with Jormag. Jormag could be smaller than Zaitan, yet feel apparently bigger because of the way that the encounter itself works out. So, you know, I don't care. The size of it, you know, and it's the same for being ultra excited about the size of Primordus. I remember that shaman, like, data mined and extrapolated the size and revealed that Primordus was, like, the size of, like, Lion's Arch times 4 or something crazy. And it was a thrill to see, but realistically, implementation-wise, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It could mean something. It could be that we get a map the size of Jahai Bluffs, except the entire thing is being on Primordus's back. Right? Literally, that is a map in the Depths of Tyria expansion they're releasing in 2022. Right? That there is an entire open world map that is us on an Elder Dragon as it flies around. Or digs around, I don't know. There's a funny thought about Primordus, isn't it? The digging Elder Dragon. It makes him sound really weak. I dig. Yeah. But, you know, like, they could do something like that. They won't necessarily. So size doesn't matter. That's not what she said. Have you ever seen the Dragon Soul raid from WoW? No, I haven't. When we defeat Kralkatorrik and Aurene takes the magic, do you think she will grow to Elder Dragon size? If that happens, do you think ArenaNet will do... what will they do with her afterwards? I mean, that's a really good question, because that is an absolute thing that the devs will be asking and toying with and wondering. What I think they'll do is what I like to call the TV pregnancy effect. Okay? Which is when you've got your super sweet, in love, love interest female character who is there to be a sex object for your male protagonist. Okay? Nice standard setup. Everybody likes to watch that. Make lots of money doing this, right? It's not very creative or interesting. It might... But, you know, you hook these two characters up eventually. You have them on and off, on and off, on and off. But eventually, they're happy together. And what do you do with that character? Well, you got to get her pregnant. Because now that's another interesting thing to talk about, even though they're in a relationship now. And relationships are boring to watch on television. So, you get her pregnant. Now you got a problem. You're trying to sell her as a sex symbol. And she's got to be thin and skinny all the time. And she's got to be attractive all the time. And now she's pregnant. And you're not allowed to have a pregnant woman on TV. So you do the TV pregnancy effect, which is where you conveniently time skip forwards so that you can avoid having to show the reality of the human being. Okay? So then all of a sudden she's just, you know, she's got a pillow up her top for 2 episodes. And then boom, she's had the baby and you're back to normal, right? Like nothing ever happened. And you've managed to sell that drama of the pregnancy. Yay. And so this happens all the time, and I think that they'll do something similar with Aurene. Once Aurene, there'll be like a big bang moment where potentially, yeah, we defeat Kraukatoric, and Aurene will time skip. She'll be off screen for a while, and when she returns, she'll be like, you know, the pregnancy will be over immediately. And in Aurene's case, this will mean she's really big, possibly. But the devs can do other really interesting stuff too there as well with that kind of fast acceleration where they have her now very capably and competently communicating with us telepathically. You know how Glint communicates all the time? You guys are going to get ready for this. There is a very real chance we'll have an Aurene voice actress coming up. Yeah? We'll have her having voice talent, and they got to get that voice right. But yeah, like she'll come back, and I'd expect her to be quite matronly and all kind of exciting in that way. It should be interesting to see how they handle that. Or they'll use this like squad UI messaging system that we got in the instance that's coming up on tomorrow's stream, where she does communicate, but she does it like kind of how Glint did or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. Like you got to think about that. It's not just about Aurene's size. And her becoming Elder Dragon size is like, geez, that's a spicy meatball. That's a big character. They can't have her always flying in. Right now in Living World maps, you know, Aurene comes in and does some attacks on random things you're fighting and then leaves again. If she's an Elder Dragon, we can't literally have an Elder Dragon flying around our shoulder dealing with us. You know, we become her assistant at that point. We become her champion. Right now she's kind of an extension of us, but we would be an extension of her at that point, right? Aurene will be voiced by Timey's VA. I like Timey's VA, and I don't really know how talented she is in terms... The thing is, and she's very good for her voice, but in terms of range, I don't know. Can she do such a different kind of character? But is it Zaitan's size or Prime Elder size? I know you're saying that as a joke, but I don't think either of them work. Zaitan is too big. And Zaitan is what we consider the smallest, right? It's too big. You can't have Zaitan size thing popping up every story in a significant... standard part of the narrative experience, can you? I mean, I've talked about this many times, guys. I think it's unworkable in a lot of ways, and what I think is really... what is next for Guild Wars 2 is why our plan doesn't work. That's the thing, right? Like, that's what the story is currently skirting around, and that's what we'll embrace. Why doesn't replacing Elder Dragons work? Why are the Elder Dragons the way they are? I ask you that now, chat. Why are the Elder Dragons mindless bastards? Hungry for magic that don't care about us. Why? And you don't have an answer to that. I ask you that in chat to make you realize and give you pause at your keyboard because you don't have an answer to that. The presumption right now is that Aurene will be better because she cares about people just like Glint. But you have to remember Glint too. They're all inheriting it from Kraukatoric, who doesn't care. Kraukatoric has those same telepathic understanding capabilities, and he doesn't care. Why? They've never told us. And so the suggestion is, I think, and what I think's always been quite beautiful is they're greedy. They're dragons. And the more you get, the more crazy you go. You become like Hablion. You become like Matthias. The more magic you get, you go nuts, man. You can't control it. You can't handle it. And Glint's and that's where the game is going, right? That's the ultimate goal. We start replacing the Elder Dragons, but it doesn't work. And so that's the, you know, the tragedy, I think, that would be best for the story going forwards, that Aurene usurps Kralkatorrik. We do it comfortably, but Aurene's like she's twitching out. She's losing it, man. She's having a bad trip, and she goes crazy and like crashes off super far away. And we're like, oh dear, this isn't working. And then you've got to find a way to break the cycle completely. Not perpetuate the cycle with your little friendly happy people, but to break it completely. And hey, maybe that disaster is when we decide, well, who the hell, well, where do we even begin to figure this out? Who do we even speak to? Who has broken, who's around long enough to understand this cycle, but has not become a part of it? We have to know. Who's left? I mean, oh, I've got an idea. Kunavang, baby. Let's go to Cantha. And then you pay them 30 bucks and you go for the next expansion. I don't know, something like that. But I think that's what it has to be in the end, and then that solves those same problems of like, how do you treat Aurene if she becomes an Elder Dragon? Yeah, and you get Albax and Shiny and stuff, and you're not rounding them up like Pokemon just to replace other Elder Dragons. You're seeking counsel from them or something. I don't know. And then after that point, I mean, I don't know. You're asking me to write a fanfic at that point, and you know what will the writers decide there is, you know, is long term. Bring back the Bloodstones, start sealing magic away. Yeah, I mean that'd be a nice segue into the Seers stuff. I mean that's what you got to remember as well. Who's to say that the Forgotten, the Massart and stuff didn't think of this too? You know, let's remember who freed Glint from her corruption. It was the ancient races, right? It was the Seers. You don't think that the Seers encountered Glint's idea way back when and dismissed it for some reason or didn't do it? They had other solutions. Seal the magic away, cleanse the corruption, run away into the fucking mist. Let's bail, baby. Look to other areas in the universe, the stars, to see what may be going on elsewhere. You know, these are great things that the ancient races did. The Jotun, the Massart, the Seers, they were on point. They actually made initiatives and did what have we done? I mean, we've killed some Elder Dragons, which the others didn't do at all, but we have none of these contingencies prepared at all. And so, I don't know. I think that there has to be a reason why the replacement strategy doesn't work. But also, there has to be a reason why the replacement strategy doesn't work and why Glint doesn't realize that the replacement strategy doesn't work. Because Glint's going to come out of this looking pretty bad by the end. You know, she's going to look a bit incompetent and stupid when her plan, her legacy doesn't go through to the extent that she wanted it. I mean, it's either all of this, guys, or Guild Wars 3 is a thing and everything works out hunky-dory perfect. It's just difficult to execute the plan, but the plan is solid. So we really can replace Kralkatorrik, and Aurene is chill, and they don't do the hungry, greedy dragon idea with too much magic in a single vessel. And then we successfully replace the others, and then we rapidly kind of come to a close with this story, and then move into other things. But it's kind of the devs' job at the moment to keep their doors open and stuff. So it's interesting. I wonder how far ahead they actually have defined for the broad story, you know, and where they deem is enough. Glint couldn't see past her own death. Well, she's still trying, even post-death. Why don't we run away to the mist? Oh wait, shit, crowd, because there. Well, yeah, now we've totally messed things up, and not even that is safe. Or it's all going according to a plan. Evil Glint, shock, twist, boom. Do you know what, Conchi Jason? That actually is a viable theory in a lot of ways. Glint's whole self-fulfilling prophecy just to fuck up the Massart. Potentially because the Forgotten didn't like them because of their bad beef in the past, and Glint had been hanging around with the Forgotten a lot, and the Forgotten had cleansed her. It's totally valid to believe that that's what she did, and she didn't even care necessarily about the Titans being unleashed just as long as the Massart died because her buddies deemed it so. Because of bad blood. Do you think Krauk will become aware of the canonical multiverse as per World vs. World lore of alternate Tyrias and realize there are alternate Kralkatorriks out there? That's a crazy, crazy, crazy thing there, Clossage. My gut is to say no, because it's just such a... a wild and unworkable thing, but you know, this patch is everything that my gut has been no, because it's too crazy, it's too wild, it's too out there, it's too nuts. They won't do it. It's too crazy. I get proved wrong. The ArenaNet of today proved me wrong, and I'm very happy they do, over and over and over again. Every single time I think it's too crazy. That won't happen. Kos won't become a main character. It's too crazy. He's not going to be Kosan. It's too crazy. Spoilers for the next episode. He's not going to go hang out with Talcora at the end. That's too crazy. All this shit happens, man. I know that's character-oriented stuff I'm talking about there. World versus World feels too crazy to me because those NPCs have always just been slapped in. The ramifications, the consequence of understanding that multiverse and the fact there's other Tyrias, that should have influenced the story 100,000 times already. There were hundreds of opportunities in Core Tyria to realize, oh, okay, if we're messing up, maybe let's go to another Tyria. There are hundreds of opportunities to do all the Living World seasons, do every single moment, every character death, everything that goes wrong. The acknowledgement that there's an actual, tangible, multiple versions of Tyria out there that we can visit and battle and represent is ludicrous. And they've never acknowledged it. Ever. It's always just been confined to a couple of NPCs rambling about it in the cities. That's it. Even in Season 1, where we go to the Edge of the Mists, it's not passed in a way that at all talks about alternate versions of Tyria and stuff. It's just those NPCs that I mentioned in the Let's Play, I think are really bad for the entire franchise. And just crappily, sloppily thrown in. They're there as a function to get new players to know about the format, and that's it. So they've never, ever talked about it or had it affect them. So I can imagine them in a writer's room now saying, whoa, that would be cool. Let's do it. Yeah. But then if they do eventually actually acknowledge that whole thing, there's kind of a thing where doesn't it shine a light on the fact that they've conveniently ignored it ever till now? Doesn't it? I think it kind of does. So yeah, I don't know. I think that the reason those are in the game, by the way, is as a consequence of the devs not truly knowing the direction of the franchise post-release. I think they focused a ton on launch, and they didn't focus enough on post-release, pre-release, right? So there is an interpretation of developing their MMO where story was not at the forefront of it. I think in a lot of ways they latched onto lore and story and that kind of delivery because that's what resonated with a lot of the community, you know? A lot of people in the community, myself included, you know, I'm in many ways, I think, a great representation of that. You know, I made a living making videos. The most successful of the videos, I've always been very clear about this. I've always made videos about tons of different stuff from Guild Wars, but the lore ones were always the big ones. People really liked the lore stuff. And I maintain that's not because what I was delivering was a lower bar of quality, or even to this day is a lower bar of quality. It's just people liked the story stuff more. That's what people... So the devs ran with that, right? But returning to the original point, when the game came out, they weren't to know that, were they? So there's a version of Guild Wars where world versus world was the main thing, and PvP was the main thing, and dungeon progression was the main thing, and the core narrative doesn't really get pushed or focused much. And in a game like that, where for years on end they're just kind of fluffily throwing that stuff in there and they don't really pay too much to progressing the story, in a game like that, those world versus world NPCs are fine. They're just whatever, right? And so they can be whimsically added in and it doesn't affect anything. But now, with Guild Wars as it currently stands, with mist travel being so prominent and the breaking down of boundaries and the story is the real focus, it could be really dangerous to suddenly try and incorporate and explain all the world versus world lore. What I would rather that the devs do is, with the big alliance battle, delete the NPCs and act like they never existed. I'm not even joking. Some absolute losers would cry about retconning there, but it's for the better of the game. I'm telling you now. Just say, look, these were a bit weird, and just hand wave them and say, look, they never affected anything. All they were meant to be here is to tell people that world versus world is a thing. But look, we have level up tutorial rewards now, and we have, you know, unlocking on the UI, and we have all this other stuff, and we have an aged community that knows about these features and propagates information amongst themselves. We don't need these NPCs that conflict really weirdly with the lore. Let's get rid of it. And if some utter close-minded person starts crying that the lore has been tampered with, then let them. And hopefully they'll quit, because that's just such a weird restriction to put on the game, you know. Like, that's what I would do, and I would just have the big World versus World update wipe it away. Or do it. Do it. Prove me wrong. Do the crazy stuff. Do World versus... There's multiple Tyrias. Next release, we're going to Sanctum of Rules Tyria. Right? And we mess up on Sanctum of Rules, so then we're going to go to Emery Bay. And then Pecan Square is next. And Stormbluff Isle. Then the finale, okay? The finale, the one world we save... is going to be the best World versus World server at that time. Alright? And then it's going to be an EU versus NA thing. Okay? It's going to be Blackgate versus... What's like a really good World versus World server on EU? I don't know. Right? That's what it's going to be. Okay? I mean, come on. It's nuts, isn't it? It's nuts. They're getting rid of the whole idea of servers as well, notably. It's just going to be alliances. So it's a great opportunity to just delete that dialogue. Okay. About the World vs. World lore, wouldn't the reworks with World vs. World fix that? Oh, there you go. Jarvanius actually said it in chat. When it's not different worlds, but different guilds fighting for dominance to take control of the resources of the business, it actually would make more sense. Yeah, there you go. It works. Good job. I mean, servers are fairly antiquated in the game at this point anyway, right? The whole idea of mega servers and overflows and stuff kind of usurped it all. Do you think Air, Snaff, and Glint will take part in the final Krauk fight as a throwback? I don't know. They could. They could do that. I'd be concerned about using them too much, though. The death needs to mean something. So I don't know. They might. I like the idea of Krauk traveling to other Tyrias and absorbing more Kraukatorics as a way of consolidating his power, because mist-walking dragons are unprecedented. Oh my god. So Krauk hunting other versions of himself in a lust for more power. He just gets gradually more and more fed. That's hilarious. I don't know about cheering for Blobgate. Alright. Well, guys, there you go. That's the stream for today. That's the story. Thanks very much for watching. If anyone's got anything they desperately want me to see or ask or whatever, do it now because... Oh no, did I forget to put a video on YouTube telling people I was live today? Shit, I think I did. Did I or didn't I? I might have forgotten completely. I guess I'll do it tomorrow then. Yeah, I forgot. RIP! Oh well, that's still viable for tomorrow, so it's fine. Whoops. I guess I just tweeted and Discorded. What if humans are originally from our real world? That's a cool idea. There's nowhere else to go. Yeah, I forgot. Lol, 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 lol. Yes, very, very, very maddening. Post the video now. The giveaway was already done. Alright. What do I want for Rox? I don't know. I really don't. I don't really care too much about Rox. If she came or left, I wouldn't really feel very much. When's the next LP? I don't know, because I'm getting very... I need to do the Straight to Devastation. And then I need to stop doing the mega things, because it slowed down the LP. It's not worth it to go on these big breaks. I'll figure it out sometime tomorrow, probably. Check Discord Reddit threads so you lose faith in humanity. Okay, I will. Thanks for another fun stream. Help pass the time with avoiding Doctor Who spoilers. Yeah, I did hear apparently it's up. Anyway, cheers guys. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow for the finale. What is a character you want to see the devs dive deeper into? Ritlock. Seriously, more about his warband, where he is, where he got the swords, all that stuff. I think Ritlock really needs it. See you guys next time.